Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. Tomorrow we wish to dine on that beautiful bone-in ribeye roast you saw at the beginning. Therefore today we need to get it dry brining. So, got a container of sea salt here. I'm just going to liberally spread this all over the roast. Then we're going to chuck it in the refrigerator overnight. Tomorrow we'll pull that out and then get that onto our Kamado Joe and use our JoeTisserie for the very first time. See you then. So here we are on the day of the cook. It is time to get that fire lit. So you can see that I have the coals set there in the back half of the basket, and I got the divider plate in. Those are the coals I used yesterday in my failed first attempt of using the Dojo oven. You will not see video of that unless you go to our Patreon page and you're a patron, because it is all in the blooper reels. Not a fault of the grill at all. First thing I'm going to do is get this bottom vent fully open for lighting. Then we grab our trusty torch and apply the fire. Also, before I start that up, you can barely see them in there, but I have 2 lumps of post oak buried in that charcoal to give us that incredible flavor. We're going to let that go for about 10 minutes, and then we'll be back to get the JoeTisserie in place. See you then. So the charcoal's been lit about 10 minutes. I can see visible flames. Now it's time to shut the Kamado Joe and get that upper dome warmed up. So I'm still keeping the bottom vent open, and I have my JoeTisserie in place. We're going to shut the lid down, and we're going to open the top vent full open. Now what we're shooting for is to cook this ribeye roast at about 325 to 350. So when I can feel that the dome is getting warm and we're approaching 300 degrees, we're going to close that top vent down and dial it in. Then we'll get our ribeye roast ready. You can still see at the top there, I'm getting a little bit of dirty smoke from the post oak that's burning in there, but that's okay. That'll be burned off by the time we have that heated up. Looks like we got our temperature dialed in. So as we approached 300 up on our thermometer here, I shut the bottom vent to a finger's width wide, and then went down to the first mark on the top, sitting exactly at 350 where we want to be. Now let's get our roast prepped. Pulled this out of the refrigerator about an hour ago. First thing we're going to do is get ourselves a pilot hole for our spit. I found this is very easy to do with a good skewer. Looking for center mass there. Push that through. Okay. Then right after I put my JoeTisserie on the BigJoe, I put my rod on there and then figured out where I want this thing to sit over that fire. So I've got my first fork set. We'll run the spit through. Get that impaled. Get the fork on the other side. Now remember, this rod is square in shape, so you want to make sure you're not on a corner. Make sure your set screw is setting on a flat portion. Got that done. Fighting the damn flies here. You can see from the roast that all the salt we put on there has been absorbed. So now to get the binder, I'm going to use a combination of Kewpie mayo and some Arby's horseradish sauce, the horsey sauce. That's going to help the rub stick, and it's going to help give us the great crust we're looking for. Hit it on the top with a generous amount of each, and then rub it in. Now we got our binder on, in goes our rub, which is simply SPG from Spiceology. A little bit of salt, pepper, garlic. Going to apply this pretty heavy. Now that we have it seasoned up, let's get it on the BigJoe. And look at that, even though the forks kicked my butt a little bit, got it dead center. Let's flip that switch. And we are rotisserating. So that's an 8-pound roast. I expect it's going to take about 2 hours, and I just realized I forgot to put in my wireless temperature probe. So I'm going to stick these in either end. When I hit about 120, 125, that's when I know when to pull it. Since it's going to take about 2 hours, we'll see you back in an hour because we have a few steps to do then. See you then. We are an hour into the cook. Turtle temperature is showing about 87 degrees. So now it's time to do a couple things. So as you saw in the beginning, I had all the coals pushed to the back. Now we're going to nestle these baked potatoes wrapped in foil to the front of that. Let those sit there for about an hour. But first, let's take a look and see how that roast is doing. Oh, we are looking good. All right, let's get them taters in there. We'll shut our Big Joe down again. And our post oak we put in at the beginning is likely consumed, so we're going to put another block in. But we're going to put it in underneath the fire, let the embers that are coming down light this up and give us smoke for that last hour. So I'm going to fully open that bottom vent and then place that post oak right into my kick ash can. There we go, finally got it in there. What you don't want to do is have that at the very front where it's blocking all of the airflow going in there. Now we need to shut this back down to a finger's width, and we'll see you again when that hits about 120, 125 degrees and it's time to take it off. Well, my wireless thermometer tells me we've hit 123, so we are an hour and 35 minutes into the cook. Got done a little bit earlier, but that's fine. We're going to get it off, get into an aluminum pan, get that wrapped tight with foil, put it into a cooler that has towels below and above it, and let that rest until our dinner time, which is about a little less than an hour from now. So let's take a look. Oh my Lord, it is looking incredible. All right, we'll turn the rotisserie off. Transfer that over to the bench. Switch to our cotton liners and nitrile gloves for better dexterity. We're gonna go ahead and shut the Big Joe because we still have our taters in there and they have another 25 minutes to go or so. Otherwise, it would be time to shut the vents and save some fuel. Okay, I get this roast wrapped and we'll see you again when it's time to carve this up and get some judgment. The ribeye roast is done. It's been resting in a cooler surrounded by towels for the last hour. Let's get that thing carved up. First of all, we'll get those strings cutting off, get the bones separated from the meat. And let's see how we did for hitting medium rare. I'm gonna cut it right in the middle here. Maybe a little closer to medium, but incredibly juicy. Okay, let's get that carved up. All right, it's all carved up. Let's bring out our judge and find out how we did. The judgment of Evelyn.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
I got one piece here with the bark, one piece from the center. So this is a bone-in ribeye roast. Our first cook on the rotisserie on the new grill.
Ooh. Yeah.
What do you think about the seasoning on the bark?
I would say it's very chewy, but like in a good way, and it's kind of like it has a little bit of firmness to it too. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the flavor, it is so good.
Okay.
It's like kind of salty, but it's also juicy, and like it doesn't have too much salt on it to the point where like you wouldn't want to eat it.
Fantastic. This is from the center. Okay. This should melt in your mouth.
Yeah, it really did. Again, same amount of flavoring. Like it has a little less salt than the bark does, but it still has that. It still adds that good flavor onto it with the salt a little bit.
Okay.
So I would say 10 out of 10. Really good, actually. I really like this.
It's a win for our first cook on the JoeTisserie. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. Until we see you next time, fair winds and falling seas.